Welcome back friends, welcome to Dart and Flutter vocabulary series. This is the part 2 of the library series. So in this one we talk about the few directives. In the last video we talked about the different ways we can use Dart libraries, and in this video we'll be talking about the few keywords like directives we call in the Dart language, the part, library and export. So let's revisit. And here's the link, by the way, to go check out the last article we did. And now here, revisiting setup, as we had like a same libraries. We had the first library is a class, simple, have addition, subtraction, a public APIs and one method, a convenience method, a private method with start with underscore add, which actually does the addition. And another method is the lib2. And what lib2 does is it took methods to find odd or even numbers. Now the first thing we discuss about here is restricting access or privacy of an API. So if that's the case, so what we do is actually what we are gonna see here. So anything that you start with underscore cannot be accessed outside of your app. So if you try to use like addition, you can access, but if you try to access the underscore add, that will give it compile time error. So that's how you can restrict the access by using the private methods in your libraries. Now the second is the part directive. So what is part directive? Part directive, usually we use it for auto-generated code. So it's really not used by writing if you want to write your code itself, and at one point there was a rumors to deprecate it as well, but it's coming very useful and handy when by the tools which generates the code automatically. So one case is the Moore library use it for creating the bindings for SQL bindings automatically, where it can where the real code about interacting with the tables is written is totally auto-generated. So how it glues two libraries. So let's see on our use case. So here is the actually lib1. So let's just assume lib1 and lib2 are huge files, and they are so that's why we have to break it into two. Now, but we still want it to be accessed. There's still tight couplings, and there are few methods they use internally. So we want to use the part directive to show it like this is one part. So I do not want to import like a lib1, lib2, because it might have some dependence inside. So I just want to have lib1 import, and I assume my lib2 is automatically included in it for the dependencies. However, there is no such dependencies here in this example, but we are just assuming it. Okay, so how would we use it? So this is my lib1, the first one. So I use the part lib2 dot dart. So what it says, this is my lib1, and there's another part which is a file lib2 dot dart, and in the lib2 dot dart, what it says, what it starts with is this is a part of lib1 dot dart, so that they know what is its part and what it is composed of. So now I can simply call lib1 dot dart, and I can access all the methods from lib2 as well, right here, the number even. So that's how we use this part directive. And now the library directive. So library directive is usually used. So by the way, there is every app in Dart is a library, but we specifically use library directive when we really want to generate the code automatically using the Dart tool. So if you have that use case, so you have to add the library and the library name here at the starting of the module, and it will take care, the Dart tool will take care of generating the code. However, there is one thing that you may want to remember. The code you have to start with 3 slashes, like the command, here as you see the comments are 2 slashes. So such code will not be picked up by the Dart tool, the Dart doc tool. you have to have 3 slashes, like 1, 2 and 1 more. So whatever code you write there will be picked up in the documents. Now I want to show you the very quick process how to generate these code. So one thing is, in the library you have a directive at the top, library mathlib. Now you create, so I created a directory in the source code, and you have to add a pubspec.yaml which has a name of the library, some description and the version of the library. Now you use the dart-doc tool, you go in that source root of that library and you simply run dart-doc, and that will generate the documentation. And now to run it, to be able to see it, you have to execute this kind of line like dhttpd --path doc API. So let's see in GitHub repo how it looks like. So this is my libraries, and my libraries is in the mathlib right here. So as you can see, this is my lib1 dart, and these are the whole my file starts with 3 slashes right here, and I go back. So that's my library actually. And now here is my documentation is created right here, and my pub.spec.yaml is actually, this is my math underscore lib1, this is my library name and the description right here, and this is right here, and this is where my library directive is, where which tells it it's my library, and this directive is needed so that dart-doc tool can understand this whole commands needs to be picked up as the documentation. Okay, so that's all to the directive and generating documentation. Now the last thing that we want to discuss here is the export directive. In the export directive, we use it for really making the few APIs accessible, and the one we may not want to. So in that case, so we use a simple export source lib directory. So let's jump back to our code, libraries, and so I created a here this is a folder, math export underscore lib. So what it does is, it has a source folder like this right here, and this is where my all internal files goes. So this is my lib1 that I had, all implementation file, and this is lib2. Now I wanted to expose it, like make it publicly available. So I use it maths underscore export.dart, and I use export lib1.dart. So in here I'm assuming I only want to expose my lib1 implementation, not the lib2. I want to keep it private for whatever reason. So in that case, so this is where, so when I will be using it in the code, like here, I will be using math underscore export, not the source slash or the lib1 anymore. So whatever is exported, only that I can use it. And as you see, since I haven't exposed my lib2, so this gives me a compile time error right here. And again, my pubspec.yaml is the one, same as like what we did in the library directive. It has a name, it has a little description and the version. So in this video, what we saw, the how to use these 3 directives and how we can organize our code to keep it safe, and how we can control what we want to expose, share with other modules, or what we want to keep it private to the library. So that's all for this video, and I will see you in the next video.